what I'm looking for is something that, well, I'm looking for ways to improve the speed of making bullets without losing any accuracy. When I say accuracy, I'm talking about accuracy in the powder charge. Okay, the scale says it's 9.5. Let's see. Put it on the other one. And let's move over to it. Well, it's still over 9.6. If you'll notice, I've got beam is set on 9.6. Let me just stand this up straight. It hits on this one center point. It doesn't change the scale in any way, but it just to help you see. And I've got that beam set on 9.6, and I've settled the weights into the groove to make sure they're not, you know, off or sloppy or any of that. So based on that, we're still at 9.6. The digital scale says it's 9.5. And I bumped the increment down, or the dispenser weight setting down 1/10 of a grain, just to see if I can, what I'm shooting for is an average. If I can do an average, it works good. One bullet that I make the range ammo, I've got it derated about 5% on the speed of what the same comparable bullet would be if it had an expensive bullet in it. And that's really the only difference in my range ammo and the other bullets is I use a cheaper bullet with the same weight, but just a cheaper bullet. But I still want the ballistics to be very similar so that when you're practicing at the range, you won't be shooting one type of bullet with one performance range, and then you get used to that, and then you put you some different bullets in there, and you know it's going to throw you off a little bit. Well, looking at the electronic scale, it's floating all around. Let's see if it'll stabilize on. I've got, like I say, I've got the setting on 9.5 now. That could be caused by air currents, even though I turned the vents off in this room on the air conditioner, so that, and I don't really actually feel any currents, but it could be one floating around somewhere. Okay, let's see. We'll put that on the beam. Looks like it did come down a little bit. So that's dead on 9.6, or nearly dead on it. Okay. Go back. We're going to do this over and over. I've been told that this thing is supposed to be learning the curve, but the thing is, I think the limiting factor here is really the scale. If the scale had a second digit to the right of the decimal, it would it'd give you a way to see where you were in between those numbers, because 9.55 compared to 9.5, it sounds like a small amount, but I mean, I can be that accurate. Pull the beam scale. I can hit within, I would say it's more like a 0.025 or better to the target every time. Okay, according to this, it weighs 9.6. Let's see what it does. But according to this, it weighs 9.5, or maybe just slightly lower than 9.5. Let me bump the hopper. Let me bump the tray one time and see if it comes back to where it was. Yeah, see, that scale is, one thing about a scale is driven by gravity. It mostly is going to have to be the same. I mean, there's a friction point in the hinge. I mean, not the hinge, I guess they call it the fulcrum, but There's a slight friction point there, but I put WD-40 on mine. I want it to be free and easy, and it's a very small contact point. Like I say, I've played with this scale so much. I've had it for 28 years now. It's never let me down. I'm gonna dispense another one. Like I say, my point here only being that I'm trying to illustrate the variability between these devices and the reason why I hand weigh the powder charges on my premium ammo. Now see, that scale right there is showing it at 9.7. No, it's back to 9.6. So it floats around, and it could be air currents. And those air currents, if they're messing with the scale while you're dispensing, then that's another point where variability comes in. So anyway, it said it was 9.7, but it bumped 9.6 a couple times. Let me see what it does. I'd say it's closer to 9.8. See, it's on 9.8. And that's just a thing, the problem you're dealing with, and that's why I'm trying to show the difference. I mean, I have to charge more money for those bullets, and the reason I do is because it takes a lot of time. It's tedious. I don't know how many, if you guys have tried to weigh out 1,000 rounds of ammo by hand, but I can tell you right now, it can become tedious. And when it does, you have to take breaks, because otherwise your accuracy, like I was saying earlier, that beam scale is only as accurate as the operator. Okay, just the dispense is complete. It says we're doing well. It's moving around. See, well, it's going up and down. I'm not so much worried about, the only reason I care what that electronic scale is saying is because that's what the dispenser is looking at to know when to stop the dispenser. So right now, I had that one set on the same setting, 9.5. I was getting 9.7, 9.6, and all kinds of stuff. And I've got, the beam is still set on 9.6 though. And I've got a low pointer. It's roughly a half of one of those, not quite a half of one of those increments off. So it's low. It's 9.5, somewhere between 9.5 and 9.6. Somewhere around, you know. It's hard to split that even on that beam scale, but you can see where the pointer's at on the scale. The dispenser seems to like to trickle to put a little powder on the pan, where the pan pad is. There'll be some grains of powder on there that need to be, granules of powder that would need to be cleaned off every time. Let's see if there's a scale swinging all over the place right now. If I can make it stabilize or not, I don't know. Well, I can't make it do it, but let me see if it will do it. Seems to be stable. Like I say, the dispenser will wait on the scale to become stable. With a 9.5 set point on the dispenser. Scale showing 9.4 right now. It did come up to 9.5.